Hello guys, welcome back to my page. Happy New Year to everyone. So without wasting much time, let's go in. So what is literature? It is the artistic use of language to express ideas, emotion, experience, imagination, human life, all of those. But let me break it down. Artistic is creative. That is the creative way an artist uses a language, could be any language, to express ideas. What are ideas? Ideas are what it thinks. Emotion, how it feels, experiences, what he has been through, what someone else has been through, or those stuff like that. Imagination, what he thinks, or what he thinks at a particular time, or human life generally. The way the artist uses a language to express all of those stuff, that is literature. That's the simplest way I can break it down for you. So what are the importance of literature? Literature is used to preserve culture and history. What is culture? Culture is like the social behavior of a particular society or a particular group of people. So through all those novels, all those poems, plays, songs, we learn how those particular people, how they lived their lives, how they worshipped, their struggles, their daily life, their clothing, their food, and etc. etc. Let me give you an example of Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. That particular literary work preserves the Igbo culture and history. It taught us the culture, the Igbo culture, their customs, their proverbs, their rituals before colonialism. If not for that write up now, or for that literary work, we wouldn't know, okay, this was how the Igbos lived their lives, or this was how the Igbo did their things before colonialism. So number two, literature helps to develop critical thinking. So it helps the readers to think beyond the surface. It helps the readers to analyze, not just read. You get, it teaches you to interpret multiple meaning to one thing. You could read one thing now, you could interpret it to mean different other things. Say, like for instance, now symbolism, metaphor, irony, all these things, it helps us to see hidden meaning, and it will help us to it also makes us to accept the fact that there more than one answer can be valid. It does not have to be that one answer. More than one answer can be valid. That's what literature does. It helps us to think critically. Critical thinking. So number three, literature reflects life. What do I mean by this? It mirrors human experience. Love, fear, hope, all of those stuffs. See, when you read a novel or a poem, for instance, now, and you think, it feels real. It's not like you are there, but that is literature reflecting human life to you. Say, for instance, now, a poem or a novel on poverty, it reflects the struggles of poor communities or poor people. Now, like a novel on heartbreak, it reflects emotional pain people actually go through. So that's literature reflecting life to you. You understand? You feel me? So what are the major genres of literature? We have drama, we have prose, and then we have poetry. So the poetry is what I want us to focus on, but I'll just do a little bit discussion on the drama and the prose so we can understand what we're doing. What is drama? Drama is literary work that is written to be performed on stage. It is written in form of dialogue, people conversating. They are actors. They are actors for this one, and it is divided into acts and scenes. There are plots and so on. There are types of drama. There are comedy. There are tragic. There are tragedy. There are tragic comedy and so on. So now prose like novels, like short stories, biography, autobiography, essays. All of those stuff. They are prose. So all those prose, they are not written in any particular form or in any particular structure. Mostly what they use is just normal paragraphs and normal everyday language that we use. You get, like when your girlfriend break your heart, now you're gonna write many things for bros. Now prose you dey compose. You get, and now prose can be fictional and non-fictional. Fictional, like it is made from imagination. It does not exist. Now you create them with your imagination. Now, and non-fictional, like it exists, like it's real. Like the biography of somebody now, you cannot make that up. It has to be the biography of the person. So that's what prose entails. So now poetry. Poetry is like a creative way an artist expresses himself through the use of a particular language at a high level, you get, intentionally, to trigger emotion, to trigger sound, or to trigger imagery. Like when you read those stuff, you start to imagine things at a high level. Yes, that's poetry. What are the characteristics of poetry? Poetry uses rhyme, that is repetition of particular sound, to give you one, to make it sound to some type of way that they want. And they use imagery, that is, they give you a mental image. You start to imagine things when you read all those poetry. And they use figurative languages like metaphor, simile, personification, to make it sound beyond literal. Yeah, that's literature. It has structure, like lines, stanza. That is literature. Don't worry, we'll go in, you understand what I'm saying. Read. So what are the types of poetry? So I divided them into two. There are more, but for the sake of this, I divided them into two. There are narrative poetry, there are lyrical poetry. Narrative poetry like epic, ballad poetry like epic, ballad. These ones, they are used to tell stories, strictly to tell stories. Now let's come to lyrical poetry. Word lyrics itself came from a Greek word, lyrikos. That word means singing to a lyre. Now, a lyre is a musical instrument. So the work of a lyrics is meant to be sung with a musical instrument. So any literary work where they sing with an instrument, that's a lyrical poetry. Now there are types of lyrical poetry. There's ode, there's lullaby, there's elegy, there's like songs that is music itself, that is musical lyrics, there's songs there. So now that song I won't focus on, but let's just discuss other types of poetry. Say for instance now, lullaby in a poetry when they write for kids. Twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the sky so high. That's lyrical poetry. It's the type of lyrical poetry called lullaby. That one are for kids. Now there's ode. Ode is any lyrical poetry that is sung to glorify somebody. Say Kataife, I want to be like Machala, a John Whiskey for Ghana. That is a type of lyrical poetry because it glorifies whiskey. You understand? It's called ode. It's a type of lyrical poetry called ode. Now there's elegy. It's a kind of poetry that is sung or that is written to mourn the dead. Maybe person don't die now, you can't write poetry to mourn the person. That's lyrical poetry. That's a type of lyrical poetry. Now songs, there is songs. So any song with any lyrics with them write in for us to feel for person to be sing to an instrument, and that's a song. Like musical lyrics, artists go write the song, now can go voice and voice a studio, and that's a form of lyrical poetry. So guys, in my next video I will explain poetic devices and categories of poetic devices. We don't really try interesting, so when I stay tuned, guys. Thanks for staying.